Welcome back to the next video in Model 3. The topic which we are going to discuss in this video is inheritance. Inheritance is the most powerful tool in object-oriented programming, as we know that. In Java program, how this inheritance concept is achieved is the content of today's video. In this video, we are just starting the basics of how one superclass and subclass is created in Java, and how one member function is accessed with the help of subclass objects, and how one superclass can reference its subclass object. So these are all the three important sub contents which we are going to discuss in this today's video. Let us go to the topic. This overall inheritance concepts is explained with in the Java in your syllabus with this respective concepts as the basics of inheritance, using super keyword, and how one multi-level hierarchy is invoked, and what is the concept of method overriding. Inheritance. It's one of the cornerstones of object-oriented programming because it allows creation of hierarchical classifications. We know the literal meaning of inheritance. It extracts the important properties from its superclasses, right? So in Java, that inherited class is called as a superclass. The class that does this inheriting is called as a subclass. The subclass is a specialized version of superclass. So this is the definition of superclasses and subclasses in Java. This subclass inherits all the instance of variables and methods defined by the superclass, and adds its own element. So not only if it extracts all the instance variables and methods of superclass, it has its own methods and it has its own elements also. Here is one simple example of showing how inheritance concepts is implemented in Java. Here the first one is the class A. Class A is, according to this example, it is considered as superclass. Here two instance variables like I and j are declared as integers, and one method is invoked which is nothing but show ij, which prints the values of I and j in its respective formats. First I value is printed and another one is j value is printed. Like that we have one method. In superclass there are two member variables and one method. This class is inherited by the class B by the keyword called as extends. So class B extends A means here A is a superclass and B is a subclass. More or less, this class B is also having one more instance variables as K and one more method called show K. Show K is also having the displaying purpose of displaying its values of K. Then sum is another one method which is also defined in the class B. So sum is nothing but the instance variables of I plus j plus k, which is also defined in the subclass. Now I want to test this simple inheritance using a one application class. So that class is called as simple inheritance. It has its main concepts. So for superclass A, I am using the object named as super object. Using the new operator, the class object is created. Then similarly for class B, using the sub op, using new operator, one sub class object is created. Now I'm going to assign the values of its ij. So where I and j is declared in the superclass. So using my superclass object of dot I is 10 is assigned. super object dot j is equal to 20. So like the contents of super objects are like nothing but I and j. So which will be printed as a first input. So the contents of super object I and j, I equal to 10 and j equal to 20 as printed as a first output. Then the contents are printed. Then next one to going to subclasses. Subclass, using the subclass object, the value of I is assigned as 7 and there's j is assigned as 8. One more additionally, apart from I and j instance variable, one more variable also defined in superclass, that is nothing but k. K values are assigned as 9. Now, how the contents of sub-objects will be there means, first one, it will inherit the methods which is defined in superclass as show ij. So, show ij is a one method which is defined in the superclass. By using the inheritance concepts, it is invoked by the help of subclass object. So, using subclass object show ij is invoked. At that time, value of I and j is 7 and 8, that is printed here. So contents of sub object I and j is equal to 10. 7 and 8. Then additionally, show k is also another one method. It also has the values of k to print. What is the value of k here? 9. So that is also printed here as k equal to 9. Then one more sum of the instance variable is also defined in subclass. So what will it print means sum of I comma j comma k, that is also printed as 24 here. So 7 and 8 plus 9 is the answer for this. So it is summed and the value of its summation 24 is printed here. So this is a very simple example of how we can inherit the superclasses from the subclass. How we can inherit subclass from the superclass. Here, what is the general format of inheriting a superclass means? It has the following syntax: class, subclass, name, extends, superclass name, right? So it has the keyword called as extends. Extends is the primary keyword which will inherit the concepts from superclasses to subclass. So which class is extending which class means subclass will be extending the superclass. So this is the meaning of this statement. Likewise, class B extends class A means A is a superclass, B is a subclass. How one member functions can be accessed in inheritance is the another one question. So I will go with one more example. Class A is created and it has the one variable as I and one more variable is declared as private. So what happens means the subclass will not be having the sufficient access to access the private value of superclass. That means it cannot access the members of superclass that have been declared as private. So according to this example, j is declared as private. So this j variable cannot be used and cannot be accessible in the subclass. We will see how it is not possible. So first int I is declared and private int j is declared. Then using the ij method, the x and y values are assigned. Then move on to its subclasses. Here class B extends A. Here also one more variable is declared. Now coming to the sum method, here I plus j. I plus j is the I is the public variable, j is the private, so it will not be accessed in the subclass. So since it will throw an error. So it will throw an error. And what are the maximum practical applications are possible in this inheritance means? According to the previous example, what is the dimensions we have given for the According to the previous example, what is the dimension given for the box class are height, width, and depth. Additionally, we can add one more dimension as weight. So that is also possible. So instead of rewriting the box, I can create a one subclass which is called as box weight, which can extend its box as a superclass. So whenever if you want to scale the one class, I can just use the concept of inheriting and thereby I can extend my superclass. Instead of rewriting the superclass and making it more complicated one, I can go with its extended class by extending the superclasses. Right here, box weight is a subclass which extends the superclass of box, and it has the one more dimension as weight, that is also declared. So in the constructor, how it can be renamed means box weight, double weight, width. Here W is nothing but width, the H is nothing but height, and D is nothing but depth, and one more variable M, which is nothing but weight. So these four variables can be assigned now in this box weight constructor. How it is tested here? We will see one example here. Demo box weight. Demo box weight is my class, and in the void main function, first I'm creating my box one as the object for box weight having the four values. Here 10 is the width, and 20 is the height, and 15 is the depth, and finally 34.3 is its weight. Likewise, first object my box 1 is created. Similarly, my box 2 is also created. One more volume is also declared. Coming to first object my box 1 dot volume, it will calculate the volume of my box 1. So that my box 1 value will be 3000. So that is printed. Then weight of my box 1 I want to display it separate, means how I can access this my box 1 means my box 1 dot weight. My box 1 dot weight is the exact statement which will refer the my box 1 first object's weight value, that is nothing but 34.3. Similarly, it is done for second objects also. Volume of second box is printed as 24, and then weight of my box is printed as 0.076. Right. So it is not necessary for the box object to recreate all the features of the features found in box. That is what. No need to recreate and no need to rewrite the codings of box objects. Just by extending the superclasses and adding the new features in the subclasses, we can achieve these concepts. And one more extension also it's possible. So in the previous one, for the box class, we have added weight. One more point also we can add as an extension as like color. So one more class color box is created, which extends the superclasses box. And in the constructor itself, what we can do is, width is first parameter, height is the second parameter, depth is the third parameter, and into C. Into C is nothing but color. So this color value also I can add it here. So this is the one more example of showing how one superclass variable can reference a subclass variable. Here one reference demo is my class name. It starts with the void main. Let us look into its closer view. Box weight is my class with the object of weight box, which is having 3578.35. That means 3 is the width, and 5 is the height, and 7 is the depth, and 3.1437 is the weight. Then one more object is created with the name of plain box, which is nothing but object of superclass. Here you consider weight box is the object of subclass and plain box is the object of superclass. Now you assume weight box is a subclass and plain box is the superclass. Now I'm using my subclass object. I'm invoking the volume, means what will happen, volume of weight box, that volume will be calculated. At that time that volume is printed as its value, right? Then weight of your weight box is also can be possible using the weight box subclass object dot weight. That is also possible. Here what happens, now I'm assigning the subclass objects to superclass. So subclass object is weight box and superclass object is plain box, right? So when I call plain box dot volume, so what will happen, it will invoke the volume defined in the box capital superclass. So volume of plain box will be the volume which is defined in the superclass. But weight of your plain box is not possible. It is there invalid because plain box is not having the member variable as weight. Only weight box is, that is subclass is only having the weight member variable as weight. So the weight of a plain box is not possible to print. So it will throw an error, right? So this is what given in the inheritance. So I hope so this video is clear for you. I'll catch you in the next video about next topic. Thank you.